started, and we're gonna go to my favorite part of the show.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news
And look,
reporting,
my
teaching,
damn
and
beats
parody,
ain't even
which
working now.
doesn't infringe
Mic check, mic check.
copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
There we go. All right. Okay, so how does my microphone sound? Everybody saying it's loud and clear. So I just want to make sure that it's loud and clear over here. Okay, it's decent. That's good. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. So let's do this. Shit is crazy, man. But thanks for bearing with me. We are here now. We are going to persevere, as my daughter says, and we are going to move forward. And damn it, I'm gonna do my show. So let's go ahead and let's get started with what it is that we are doing. And I'm gonna change that so I can see myself on this side. I got my chat up over here. Cool. All right, we good now. So let's do this. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to do a different show. So I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to do something different. I have like this little small little piece I'm gonna do in the beginning, kind of like a monologue. Actually, it is a monologue. Tommy has taught me well. It's a little short monologue, but then what I wanted to do is I wanted to open up the phone lines. I know I had talked about it for quite some time now, and I wanted to just have a topic, but then I'm gonna open up the lines and we can pretty much talk about the topic or things that are pretty much pertaining to the topic. So if you look at the title of the show says, if the police need more training, do we as people need more training too? And this question came about because one of my buddies who I had the pleasure of serving as a police officer with, he sent me this and I wanted to read it. And after I read it, I wanted to discuss it because I read it and I thought about this and I was like, holy shit, this is really something good. And it's really something worth talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up over here. And well, you know what? I can show you guys too as I read it. Yeah, I can show y'all too. So we'll do that. So we'll both read it together, and then I will take this. Yeah, because I need to. If I'm gonna do it that way, I wonder if it will let me do a present. Haha, and it does. See, I'm good. Let me tell y'all something. I know a little bit about a little bit, and I can get shit done and figure shit out. Cause figuring this out, this was difficult. This really was difficult. And I think, hey, Glenda, what's happening? And what I think is that I think that my YouTube channel and my streaming key got mixed up because I couldn't even connect until I like reset my key, my streaming key. So I had to do a whole bunch of configuration stuff, and I think what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna go into XSplit tonight or tomorrow and delete everything and do everything fresh. Because now this whole YouTube thing, the way they got it set up, I guess it's supposed to be easier, but for me, because of the way I learned, I'm used to having two separate programs, and now I guess YouTube is like it's integrated. So I don't know, but with that being said, let me go ahead and add this screen so y'all can see it, and then we'll read this together, and then hey, look at that, look at how I got that all pretty and set up so even y'all could read it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and we'll set up the StreamYards after I do my little monologue piece, and then we'll go from there. So if you don't know who this guy is in this picture, this is Sheriff David Clarke. Sheriff David Clarke is a sheriff. He's a sheriff in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken. But he's a very popular sheriff, one of the most popular law enforcement figures in our country. And what happened was there was a statement that he made. And here it is. I'm just going to read it real quick. He says, it's not the police who need to be retrained. It's the public. He says, we have grown into a mouthy, mobile phone wielding, vulgar, uncivil society with no personal responsibility and the attitude of it's the other person's fault and you owe me. A society where children grow up with no boundaries or knowledge or concern for civil society and personal responsibility. When an officer says, put your hands up, then put your hands up. Don't reach for something in your pocket, your lap, your seat. There's plenty of reason for a police officer to feel threatened. There have been multiple assaults and ambushes on police officers lately. Comply with requests from the officer. Have your day in court. Don't mouth off or fight or refuse to comply. That escalates the situation. Police officers are our sons and daughters, fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters. They're black, white, brown, all colors, all ethnicities, all faiths. Male and females, they are us. They see the worst side of humanity. Very true. The raped children, the bloody mangled bodies of traffic victims, the bruised and battered victims of domestic violence, homicide victims' body parts, day after day. They work holidays while we have festive meals with our families. They miss... Go to the next page. They miss their kids' birthdays, anniversaries, all those special occasions that we take for granted. They work in all types of weather, underground, under dangerous conditions for relatively low pay, which is pretty much true. They have extensive training, but they are human. When there are numerous attacks on them, they become hypervigilant for a reason. They have become targets. When a police officer encounters any person, any person, whether a what? Any person. When a police officer encounters any person, whether a traffic stop, a street confrontation, an arrest, whatever, the situation has the potential to become life-threatening, which is very true. You, Mr. and Mrs. Civilian, also have the responsibility of keeping the situation from getting out of control. Many law enforcement officers are veterans. They've been in service to this nation most of their lives, whether on the battlefield or protecting us here at home. They are the only thing that stands between us and anarchy in the streets. If you want to protect your child, then teach them respect. Sheriff David Clark. So when I read this, it really made me think, and it made me pose this question of saying, well, everybody's putting all of this responsibility to the police. Everybody's saying that the police need to do, we need to do this to the police. Police need to be held accountable. Police need to be held responsible. That's the only way we get justice. Police need to be brought to justice. Police need to come and do this. They need to come. Everything has been about what the police needs to do. And I have not once heard any government officials. I have not heard any politicians. I have not heard any of these activist groups. Not a single one of them share that responsibility with civilians. And that, number one, it tells me two things. It tells me, the first thing that it tells me is that there is a clear biasness against police. What it also tells me is we are not trying to have a conversation. This is it's a power struggle. And we're using police officers, as it's like a witch hunt. We're making them the reason why things aren't right in our society. And I think that's we have done a tremendous disservice to our law enforcement officers. We just have. The way that politicians, and I'm talking about the mayors, the governors, the Congress men and women, you guys putting all of this blame on police officers, it has been a tragedy because the literally a handful of police officers that have not done things by the book, that have done things just flat out fucking wrong, you've held an entire group, and I mean the entire police department, accountable or responsible for those few. Just think about that. Most major cities have anywhere between 20 to 30,000 cops on the payroll. Take that and multiply it across the country. Ballpark figure, how many police officers do you think we actually have in our country? if you ballpark and say we got 1 million cops in our country, so we really are talking about like less than 30 that we've had issues with, less than 100 that we have issues with. Let's even be boisterous and just say 1,000. To put that kind of responsibility and to put that type of accountability on an entire group or department across the entire country for a handful, it makes no sense. And it shows that this isn't about justice. This is just about it's a power grab. It's us trying to blame this group for all of our problems. When you look at the policing aspect, now are there opportunities with policing? Absolutely. Plenty of opportunity. And we can talk about that. But my thing is this, is there opportunity with civilians? And you have to be an idiot if you say that there isn't. Trying to use the same line of, well, they're the professional. Well, obviously they're not. So now what? Let's say that they're not the professional. They're the ones in position of authority. We pay their salary. That's what everybody says. We pay their salary. They work for us. They say they're the professionals. They're supposed to be the ones that's trained, and they're supposed to be able to shoot guns out of people's hands or shoot weapons out of their hands like they're in the movies. Well, we clearly see that that's not the case. So now what do? Where is the accountability and the responsibility for the citizens? That's the question that needs to be asked. And my thing is this. My position is it is on both sides. It's on both sides. And it's like when we're talking about the whole aspect of trying to stop police brutality, what we're protesting for, marching for, looting and rioting for, we don't have a plan. We don't have a plan. We're just out there making noise. And it's like, and one of the things that I came up with was just saying, what kind of laws do we need to come up with? What kind of laws do we need to enact to where police officers and civilians will not have George Floyd instances, where they won't have instances where your Philando Castiles, they won't have your Tamir Rices? What kind of laws can we put in place to eliminate that or to mitigate it? And it made me think, and I came up with some actually. So people always say, well, you can't shoot a man in the back. Fine. Let's give you that. Police officers cannot shoot a man in the back. Okay. So now what? So what does that mean now? So when I have a guy that I'm standing face to face with and he's not complying, what do? When I have a guy that's standing there and they won't put their hands behind their back, what do? And I said this. When there is any type of interaction with the police, if there is probable cause, it should be law that police officers should put you in cuffs. But I ain't no criminal though. Ain't nobody saying you're a criminal. And ain't nobody said technically that you're going to jail right now. But if I have probable cause, so that means if I pull you over for a traffic stop and you have a busted tail light, you got black smoke coming from your exhaust, you got expired plates, whatever the case may be, a cracked windshield, whatever the case may be. Once I pull you over, because now I have probable cause, if for any reason I ask you to step out of that car, because I already have probable cause, I am bound by a law enforcement officer, I am bound by law to put you in cuffs. You as a civilian are bound by law to comply and go into cuffs. That way, I'm not posing a threat to you. I can't get to my pockets and pull out that rocket launcher or that grenade to do anything to you or to harm you. None of that. None of that at all can take place. So if I pull you over for speeding, and I pull you over, and I come up to the car, if I smell weed, whatever the case may be, or if you just seem to be speeding, and I want you to come out that car, I step out, hey sir, or ma'am, I need you to step out the vehicle, you should already be expecting to be placed in handcuffs. Put your hands behind your back, put you in cuffs, and I can either put you in the back of my vehicle, or I can leave you outside, whatever the case may be, while I conduct my investigation. Because if I'm conducting my investigation and you're in cuffs, if I find some evidence and I'm taking your ass to jail, there's no struggle. There's no fight. There's no knee in the back. There's no palm strike to the face. I don't have to do shit but keep you in the car that I already got you in. That's it. If for some reason everything is good, you was doing 25 miles per hour over the speed limit, I write your tickets, get your tickets out, take the cuffs off you, put you in the gate, go ahead and I'm going about your way. Here go your ticket, sir. See you in court. Or you pay the fine. And that's it. So just like how a law enforcement officer has where you can do an initial pat down or Terry frisk, same way I can do that. If I have probable cause and I pull you over and I'm pulling you out the car, that's it. Now, if I get called on the scene, if I get called to a resident, all right? Once I get called to a resident, the people that are involved in an altercation, if he hit me or he hit her, whatever the case may be, she bit him, whatever the case may be, all parties that are involved or that have been pointed out by the people that are there, he hit me, I ain't hit her. Okay, let's figure it out. While I conduct my investigation, by law, I have to place you in handcuffs. Just let this just marinate for a minute and just hear what I'm saying. Because now, as I conduct my investigation, you already in cuffs. You're already good to go, and I ain't got to do nothing to you. I ain't got to tase you. I ain't got to mace you. I ain't got to shoot you. I ain't got to put a knee on your neck. I ain't got to foot sweep you. I don't have to do a Hadouken. I don't have to Hadouken you or none of that shit. I ain't got to do anything because you're already in cuffs. Here's the other part to that. If that is a law and you don't comply, then we as the people can agree, well, motherfucker, you know you supposed to get put in cuffs. So if you fighting, you either guilty than a motherfucker, you either got some extra shit, or you are planning to do that officer or other people that are around bodily harm. And therefore, if your ass wind up getting shot, tased, pepper sprayed, whatever the case may be, it's on you. You are putting that responsibility on it. So if I'm high off of cocaine, if I'm high off of PCP, if I'm just high off life and I don't want them cuffs on, then I know what I'm getting. Sir, how come you didn't let the officer put the cuffs on you? You know you're bound by law to do that. 'Cause I ain't did nothing. Okay. It's only a temporary restraint. That's it. It's a temporary cut. You're in a temporary custody. You're in temporary custody. That's it. And that's what you call it. Temporary custody. Am I in jail? I'm going to jail. No, sir, you're not. I don't have any reason to take you to jail. You're in temporary custody. That's it, and that's all. If for some reason, because I'm telling you what that's gonna do, all your bad guys, you gonna know them instantly. Sir, by law, I'm bound to put the handcuffs on you for temporary custody. I gotta put the handcuffs on you. You too, ma'am. Well, why ain't it? Ma'am, by law, which has been passed by the state 6 months ago, y'all got letters in the mail. As a police officer, when I'm conducting an investigation, I have to place you in handcuffs. That's it. Nothing to argue about, nothing to talk about, nothing to dispute. But I ain't did nothing. Ain't nobody said you did. I'm conducting an investigation, and while I'm conducting my investigation, by law, I have to put you in cuffs. Now, if your ass did do something and the investigation does ensue and the investigation ensues and it shows that your ass did do something, you're already in custody. Now you're under arrest. But you said I was in temporary custody. You were. Until I found the knife your ass wasn't supposed to have. Until I ran your name and you had 2 warrants. That's it. That's it. So it's like when you're talking about saying to say, well, why he do that? Why they do this? Why? Because everybody always says that the police are doing too much. And in some instances they do, but the majority of the time, all they're doing is trying to take your ass to jail because you done fucked up and you don't want to go. So you do stupid shit. You run, you fight, you go see your kids, you walk around to the car door, you keep telling me, I'm not that type of guy. You keep saying dumb shit. You talk about your mama just died. You talk about your cat died. You talk about your best friend for 36 years just died. You talk about you had COVID 2 weeks ago. You talk about your mama got pneumonia. You talk about everything but what the fuck I'm supposed to be talking about, which is why didn't I go to court? That's it. So, y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm going to set up these lines real quick. And I'm telling you right now, I ain't here for no bullshit. If you ain't trying to have a conversation, if you're not sitting here trying to have an intelligent conversation, do not call in. Do not call in. So what do you guys in the chat think so far about what I'm saying? Is what I'm saying, does it hold any merit, any water? Is it just a bunch of bullshit? Brian, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. This makes no sense whatsoever. Y'all let me know. Meanwhile, wait. I need to cancel that. And I just need to turn that off. There we go. Yep, and then I am going to do what I need to do with this. I don't know what you come to do. All right, let's change that. And we will move that over here. Over here. And then I'm going to do StreamYard. Let's see what we got here. He said 100% I agree. Okay, 100%. That's what's up. Never gets old. I'm not that cat. Yeah, that shit is so funny. Left there, I swear. Supreme Court says different. Brielle, I'm telling you right now, if you gonna have a conversation, click the link. If you talking about that more shit, talking about I'm traveling, not driving, all that shit. If you ain't talking about the basic laws of the land, I'm not talking about in the Constitution. It says if you are more and you travel 6 points of light, I ain't trying to have that debate. I'm not fighting that fight. If you talking about that, I'm not really a citizen. I'm a diplomat and all that shit. If you own that, do not click the link. If you can dispute or debate what it is that I'm saying as far as what we are adhering to as citizens of the United States, that's what we can have a conversation about. That's what we can have a conversation about, because nigga, you just can't go to the Supreme Court on a whim. There's 2 other courts before you get to the Supreme Court. So if you gonna talk about that, then I'm good. We can have that conversation. Here it come right now. Let me give me 2 seconds. What is that? Yeah, man. But I appreciate y'all hanging out and sticking with me through all of this extra BS that I got going on with. Let me put that in. With these technical difficulties, man, it was insane. And I was going to do the show last night and I thought I had it figured out, but did not. I did not. And even with the police being retrained and all that kind of stuff, I've always said that there are plenty of opportunities with the police department to be retrained. But I think with just what my buddy Marty sent me about this, with this article, it really got my mind to thinking about what we could do as civilians and how to fix that, how to bring that that whole thing around full circle to where you can see both sides. There we go. Use, yes. I want to allow it to do both. And my mic is working. My mic sounds nice. Check 1. My mic sounds nice. Check 2. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yep. And then I should have my link, my hot link. Yes, there we go. All right, cool. So here is the link. Boom. And, oh, let me put it in over here on the UGOA. Because I don't want to leave out the VIP of YouTube, baby. Yes, sir. There we go. And my mods can please feel free to share that. All right. There we go. Okay. Now I need to add myself. And then I'm going to add this person on the screen. Hold up. Wait. Alright, and let me just put this on the screen and then we can chop it up. 2 seconds here, sir. Alright, and that audio should be good. Screen capture. Yep, take that piece. And these two go together. And these two go together. There we go. All right. Mr. Ugly Truth. Go ahead, good sir. You are on the air.
Let me find out you playing matchmaking over there, Brian. Let me find out.
You said find out what?
You playing matchmaking over there.
Matchmaking? What you talking about?
Matchmaking and stuff on that computer, man. Let me find out.
Man, I don't know what you talking about, man. But this damn thing, man, I'm telling you, man, that computer thing, it threw me off, all the way off, man. But I'm going to work through it. But what are your thoughts about what I said? And just about civilian responsibility, if we want to call it that.
Actually, I actually agree with you on that. Like, basically, people, civilian overall, need to retrain themselves.
Yeah.
Because if you really look at what's all going on, it's like people are doing stuff to try to be like, I don't know, there's some kind of symbol, this second coming, and it's to the point where it's out of hand.
Right.
Cause like I agree with you on, like, you know what I'm saying, like put them in the handcuffs, like, hey, you just shut the hell up, let me do my job.
Yeah.
And also it's like, first of all, like, I ain't gonna lie, in the black community, all this bullshit with everybody coming out the house saying he didn't do nothing. Y'all just need to stay in the house.
Yep.
Cause it's like every time you look on the news, like even with the videos and everything, it's like it's a whole bunch of black people outside just screaming. And it's like, bro, just let the police do their job.
And that's what I don't understand. It's like if you ain't did nothing, because that's what everybody say. I ain't did nothing. What I do, I ain't did nothing. If you ain't did nothing, then why would you be so adverse to a police officer or police officers conducting an investigation to find out what's happening? Because they don't know what's going on. And if everything is on the up and up, why wouldn't you just let them say, okay, go ahead, do what you do? It's like if I get pulled over by the police, do I want to get pulled over? No. Do I want to spend 30 minutes or 45 minutes while the police walk around and search my vehicle? No, I don't. But if it comes to that, because I don't ride dirty, I ain't got no kilos, I ain't got no warrants, I don't have no pounds of weed and nothing like that on me, Why wouldn't I let them search? You ain't gonna find shit. Go ahead. Why wouldn't I let them do it? And it's like when people, you don't understand it from a police officer's perspective. I'm there to find out what happened. I'm here because someone called me or because I've seen some type of illegal behavior take place. And when I get there, I'm asking questions. If you lie to me, I'm going to be suspicious of you. If you don't want to cooperate with me, I'm going to be suspicious of you. Because, and what somebody asked earlier in the chat, I'm sorry, I just remembered it when it just with me in my thought.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
When you ask, somebody asked me earlier today, they said, what is that I always say about interaction with the police? Whenever you have an interaction with the police, you have two things that are on the line. Your freedom and your life. That's it. Why would I jeopardize that? Because the police officer is thinking, is this a bad guy or not? I can't assume that you are a good guy because if I do, I let my defenses down. And when I do run into a bad guy, I'm screwed. I'm off my square. I'm not as attentive and as alert as I would be. It's like if somebody tells you what if you got a snake and somebody tells you that snake is not poisonous, or if you know for a fact that it's not, then you're gonna be a little more relaxed around it. However, if it's a goddamn king cobra or diamondback, you're gonna be a lot more defensive on it. You're gonna be like, whoa, wait, hey. You're gonna be more inclined to shoot it. You're gonna be more inclined to stay away from it. And if you are forced to deal with it because you were called there, you still have to shoulder up the bravery and deal with it.
Because the thing is, I was discussing this with my girl, and it was like a solution. Like, just hear me out on this. Let's just say you take down the email area code of people who don't want the police and the people who do want the police. So when stuff happens in certain neighborhoods, police don't get involved. Y'all don't have nothing to worry about.
Here's the problem with that. Everybody want the police when they shit is on the line. That's the problem. When you're in the trap house cooking up your dope, when you got your vision where pot's bubbling and you're getting your money, hell no, you don't want the police to come. Hell no, you don't need the police. But when your grandmama fall down the stairs, you want to call who? The fire department. Or you want to call the ambulance, right? And just like when somebody come and steal your shit, you want to call who? The police. You driving your brand new Range Rover down the street, somebody hit it, you want that person what? You want to call the police so that person can get held accountable by the insurance company. You want a police report then, don't you? Exactly. You go on vacation. You come home, all your shit is stolen. You ain't going out on the streets. You're calling 911. You want a police report filed so that, number one, we can either try to recover it or you have the police report filed in order to get your insurance to reimburse you for it. So everybody at some point or another wants the police. That nigga done came home drunk and wants to play a friendly game of whop on your ass. What you gonna do? Ladies, you gonna call the police. That nigga don't come home because he was out with your best friend fucking her all night and you done figured it out. Now this nigga come home and you confront him and he slap you. What you gonna do? Call the police to get that nigga out your house because you can't do it yourself.
But the funny thing is that, like, the one thing I always notice when I look on the news or when I see some post on, is like, you know, it's like it's always in the hood, and the thing is, it's always another black person calling the police on that black person.
Yes, all the time. That's why I said this whole thing of we don't want the police. Even when you look at the shit that happened in Portland with Chop or Chaz, it was Chaz then Chop. When you saw that shit happen,
they switched their name too many times.
Yeah, they changed their name. They were totally no police. You know what happened? People died. People were raped. People were beaten. People were injured. And those people needed what? The police.
The police.
The people that were there, that was running the whole little area, they became their own police. And they were corrupt as fuck. Y'all doing shit, y'all raping women, y'all motherfucking stealing from each other. Ain't nobody being able to stop you or do shit because there was no law there.
And we all see how that turned out.
Exactly. That shit was a disaster. It went and it showed, and that's why I was kind of like, I'm glad that they showing this shit because it shows what's really gonna happen if y'all defund the police. It shows what it's gonna eventually get to if you say we're doing community policing ourselves. We ain't gonna have no police. We don't need y'all. This is what's gonna happen. You know why? Because there are always gonna be wolves around going after the chickens and the sheep.
But hell, it's like people keep, like you say, like if y'all gonna set, like, okay, let's just say y'all go govern yourselves. We all see how Chicago turned out. We all see how Atlanta be turning out. We all see how New Orleans, Baton Rouge, all of them turn out. So some should be telling y'all cannot govern yourselves.
Look how long it took for America to get to where it is today with law and order. This shit, it ain't like it's just, oh, it's simple. We just do this and that's it. It took years to get to this point. And yes, there's still places and areas where we can grow and make things better. But I'm telling y'all, and I keep telling this to people, everybody that's here in America that's criticizing America, criticizing the system, that's all good. But make no mistake, ain't no other place better than this right here.
Because like the one thing is like people keep saying, oh, hey, we go back to Africa, but it's like, okay, y'all got the money, y'all got the vehicle, y'all got all this stuff to go back to Africa. But if you look at Africa, shit's still a shithole over there. You cannot say that Africa is better than America and they're still living behind us.
Here's the thing. If they were, and just like I saw a video the other day, what's my man name? Akon. He did a video. He was talking about how beautiful Africa is. And he was talking about, because he's over there and he's doing a lot of development and trying to get infrastructure over in Africa. And I applaud him for that. That's cool.
I heard he was trying to build his city and everything.
Yeah. And that's all good. And my thing is this, as beautiful as Africa may be, and a lot of black folks, we just don't know about it. I get that. As beautiful as all these other places across the world may be, there is no other place on earth that has the infrastructure that we have or on the same level and also has the freedoms that we have. There is no other place. That's why if this place was so fucked up, people wouldn't be trying to come here. People are dying trying to come here. People are coming here illegally. Go down to the southern border. People are doing whatever they possibly can to come over here. People are committing crimes at home to get money in their homeland, to get money to make their way over here. They are willing to leave behind their homeland to come here to start a life. So it's like all of this, America's this, America's that, America stole this country from the Indians and all. Every country stole their land from somebody else. Y'all think Britain just grew into what it is today? Y'all think China grew into what it is today? No. They murdered, maimed, and pillaged lands just like the Americans did, just like America did. It's just that America is the newest one. That's it. So yeah, people can talk about the Trail of Tears and talk about what they did to the Indians, how they pushed them to the end of the earth, and then just said, all right, we tired. Y'all can have the rest of this. Yes, they did that. But it's not the first time.
But you see, and the thing is, people trying to judge, it's like, okay, hey, we have all this stuff going on. And it's like, y'all don't understand. It's like, most of the problems are caused because, like people always say, y'all get emotional. Oh, y'all feel like y'all behind everybody. So y'all got to put down everybody to get ahead.
Right. Exactly.
And the thing is, like,
and even
it's like
I said, even when you look at it and say, well, with what we got going on here and what they're doing to us, and just to get more specific, as black people, you can't tell me that the things that are happening to us, which it ain't good, those things that are happening to us, you can't tell me that we don't play a hand in it. You cannot tell me that Jacob Blake, there was no reason whatsoever And I don't care what you try to figure out. I don't care what you try to say. There was no reason for him to go around to his car, to get inside his car. You're under arrest, dude. You're under arrest.
People keep on saying like, oh, and it's like I kind of point out myself on my Facebook page. It's like people keep on saying like, hey, they didn't have to shoot him. Hey, all this stuff, but it's like if they tell it like me, I got pulled over a couple of times, you know, for speeding because heavy foot,
Yeah.
I got pulled over. Hell, I got pulled over one time. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got pulled over one time for hitting 120 in a 35.
There you go. Dead wrong. I done got pulled over plenty of times speeding. I got pulled over I was doing 90 in a construction zone on the interstate at 2 in the morning. Police officer was sitting in the cut and got me dead ass. There was nothing I could say. And when he came up to the door, he said, hey, what's going on? I said, officer, I didn't see you, first of all. So I wasn't trying to disrespect you. I said, second of all, the thing, I'm trying to get home because at that time I had a 3-year-old in the back because I just drove from Memphis. And we had drove from Memphis to St. Louis, ate at Sweetie Pies, and then came on back up to Michigan. I said, I got a 3-year-old who's been in this car for over 14 hours. I said, I'm just trying to get home. I said, it's 2 in the morning. Ain't nobody out here, and I'm just trying to get home. And he said, I understand that. He said, but you were going too fast. And I said, I understand. And then he wrote me tickets. Now, he wrote me tickets like a motherfucker. But he was at least nice enough to say, hey, look, all I said was that you was going over 5 in a construction zone. Because had he really wrote what I was doing in a construction zone and put that on the ticket, I would have probably got my license suspended. Or I would have had to pay about $400, what turned out to be a $125 ticket would have been like a $375 or $450 speeding ticket.
With a misdemeanor probably behind it.
So it's like, was I mad that I got a ticket? Yeah, but I did that. That was me. I gambled and shook the dice, hoping I could just get on in because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. But I had to take that. That's just what it is.
Because like the thing is, it's like with me growing up, like I grew up out the hood. Hell, like when I see stuff like going on the news, like people like wasted with the cow thing. Like everybody on Facebook kind of like, oh, he's a murderer and all this stuff, and it's like I'm looking like y'all only see that he was shooting. Y'all didn't see what happened before he started shooting.
Exactly. And even if you look at the shooting, if you just look at the shooting, what it looks like is somebody attacking him. Whether they was going for the gun, hitting him with a skateboard, trying to take his gun, whatever the case may be. He was not the aggressor. He actually responded to the attack. Plain and simple, cut and dry. If that would have happened with anybody else, had those white guys been doing the same thing with a black dude, it would have been, man, that brother was defending himself. Hands down. Not even a question. Not even a question. We're not going to even question that had that been the case. But because it was a white dude, it was a young white boy, even though that they were white people too that he shot, the fact is that they were protesters. That's what it was. And I'm telling you like this, I'm so glad that he did what he did because everybody's tired of what they're doing.
Because the one thing is, like, I'm looking like, okay, if y'all gonna set a rule where, hey, we gonna record the police, hell, why don't y'all set a rule to record the niggas that actually shooting up your hood?
They gonna do that because they scared. And even to that point, I've said before, even when I did that show a couple of weeks ago, I said this is where the government steps in at. The government needs to step in and put together the infrastructure, partnering with state governments, and they need to set up the infrastructure for every law enforcement department. If you're in a metro city, you need to have a body cam. Plain and simple. That footage needs to be uploaded at the end of your shift, and that footage needs to be available to the public instantaneously. Why do you say that? Because that's what will keep people honest. If I know that my camera and the thing with the camera software, the next thing they need to do with the camera software, they need to figure out a way for that camera to alert supervisors and to put some kind of tracking on when it goes offline. Because cameras all of a sudden go offline in the heat of battle or in the heightened part of the investigation. When shit goes left, camera's gone. No audio, no video. Nope. That camera should alert or send some type of alert to dispatch. Should send it to the supervisor officer that's on duty, and it should be tracked in the software when it goes offline for whatever reason. You turn it off by accident, it should show. You turn it off on purpose, it'll show. Dispatch can call you instantly and say, Adam 12, why is your camera off? I'm on lunch. Oh, okay. When you check off for lunch, fine, you check off your camera. When you check back on for lunch, you check on your camera. When you check on for the day to work your shift, you turn on your camera. After you go in the dispatch and check on, your camera should instantly come on. And it should be set up to where not only you can do it, dispatch can turn that camera on too. So if you say, I'm pushing the button, dispatch, it ain't coming on. Okay, let me help you there, Adam 12. Yep, it's up. We see the link. You're transmitting. Good.
Because like one of the problems I have with like certain situations that go on, especially like, you know, with the media and people pushing the narrative like, oh, all white people are racist. It's like some of the stuff is like the news not even putting out for y'all. They putting out clips of what they want y'all to see.
Yeah, and that's why I said it should be loaded up to where it's just the raw data is uploaded and people can just access it. Because you're gonna eventually be able to get it anyway through a FOIA request, but the people should have access to those videos. Plain and simple.
Because the thing is, like, if y'all will be like, okay, hey, the police, y'all need to reform the police, y'all need to do all this with the police. But the thing is, okay, they could do all. If y'all talking about retrain the police, defunding them is literally costing them. They cannot retrain them.
Right. And the thing is, even with defunding the police, it's like using the word racist. It's a hot item. It's just something to say. It's something fun to say. And oh yeah, we should defund the police. It's one of those things. It's the new defund the police is the new racist word essentially. Well, you know how everybody call you one thing you don't want to be called as a racist. Same thing with defund the police. It's just a hot word. And it's like when you're talking about defund the police, you're just talking about literally what? When you defund something, you're taking funds away. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take those funds and put them towards other. Why can't you just get funds allocated for that? Why would you take it away from law enforcement? It makes no sense because essentially what's going to happen, whatever you defunding this program, you defunding this division, you defunding this department, it's going to come down to people's jobs being lost. That's it.
But
that's
yeah, like even Cardi B was talking about, oh, put it to all these programs stuff. It's like, first of all, Cardi, you're rich.
Yeah.
Y'all could get together and put money in your neighborhood.
Yes. And my thing with Cardi B, it's like, I don't understand, since when did the rappers be the ones to speak for black folks? When did that become the thing? It's like if I got something going on, if there's something going on with our people, if there's something going on in our country and it's a black issue or it's a Hispanic issue, whatever, I don't need Lil Yachty speaking for us. I don't need that. I don't need Lil Wayne talking about the black experience. Because number one, most of the people that they do get to do it, they rich as shit. They rich as shit. Like you said about Cardi B. Cardi B is living an unimaginable life to most people. What she can afford, where she lives, what she has access to, and what she gets to go and do on her own at a whim, most people will not even be able to conceive as a thought in their lifetime. So why do I need to hear from her? What is it that Cardi B is going to bring to the table interviewing a Joe Biden? Nothing. She knows nothing about politics. She's just literally like a kid asking for a wish. You could have got one of them kids from You Think You Smarter Than a Sixth Grader to interview Joe Biden, and it would have been a better conversation. She was just talking about shit with no type of reality to it. There was no time. Okay, so you want free education. You want free college. So is that the question that you ask him? Yeah, Joe Biden, we want free college. No, you don't, bitch, because you ain't even going to college. You don't need to go to college. But the thing is free college tuition or something like that? Or how do we pay for that? That's what you ask the candidate. If people are asking for free college, Joe Biden, how can the government afford that? Can the government afford that? What would be your plan to provide that for the people?
And the thing is, she has no plan. It's just basically, I'm just saying this because most of my audience are black, Latinos who live in the ghetto. And it's like, hey, you keep saying all this stuff, we need this, we need that. But the thing is, since you've been a rapper, you have not put nothing in motion to get stuff done.
Exactly. And the thing is too, it's like who just said that in the chat? Cardi B is a well-paid operative. It's not even well-paid operative. And Lewis also said they think that low of black people to have Cardi B interviewing Biden and Bernie. That's what it is. They really think, they are betting on the fact that we're that dumb to where we okay with Cardi B being interviewed. And here's why I say that. Excuse me. Tell me what hood white celebrity has interviewed Trump. What ghetto, what low income, now turned star, white celebrity has interviewed Biden? You know who interviews Trump? Laura Ingraham. You know who interviews Trump? People from Fox News, people from all these different media out, whether they form or not. That's who he gets interviewed by. Who else is interviewing Joe Biden? What white hood rapper, what white rock star interviewed Joe Biden?
Nobody really like him.
I'm just saying, not one. Not a single one. So why would they do that for black folks? Because they think that's what we look up to. They think that's what that's what represents us. And for the most part, I have to admit, that's why they do it, because that's what we show. Any and everything Cardi B says or does, we rolling with it. Niggas to this day, women to this day are still walking around talking about, don't nobody know what that shit means. It sounds stupid as fuck. But what do? We embrace it because Cardi said it. We embrace it because ain't nobody ever did that before. So we gonna be cool and we gonna be the ones to say it. That's like what she doing.
Like, literally, think about it. As soon as that song WAP came out, every fucking female was like, I got that WAP. As soon as it came out.
And the thing is with that, number one, wet ass pussy been around since the age of dawn of time. Number two, the fact that it's a racy, vulgar, nasty song, whatever you want to call it, it ain't the first. Number three, this ain't nothing that we ain't never heard before, so why are we over glorifying it? Why do we do that? And it's like we over glorifying something that everybody knows about, everybody's heard, most people have experienced, and we let it break the internet.
Hell,
even the song, there's some holes in this house. Most motherfuckers don't even know that's an old school house hit. House music. Started in Chicago. There's some holes in this house. There's some holes. That shit is from the 90s, dude.
Dude, if you look at
Actually, the late 80s, early 90s.
if you look at rap now, they literally going back to the old song. Even with Young Boy with the Dirty Diana, that was Michael Jackson, Dirty Diana.
Exactly. But and it's like we heard it's some holes in this house years ago. So it's like when I heard it, I was like, oh, they brought the house joint back. That's what's up. And I ain't even hating on the song. It's just, it's something, it is what it is, but why are we making it that thing? It's really not. It's just like how niggas went crazy over Patti LaBelle sweet potato pie. Niggas was fighting over them damn pies. The Popeye's chicken sandwich. And I'm telling you, I said, eventually I got the taste of Patti LaBelle sweet potato pie. They had one after all of the craziness went by, after it all went insane, and the gay dude was like, Patty. After all of that took place, I went ahead and I got one. And I tasted it. And I said, I can't believe this shit. Because I really was hoping that she put a different spin on it. I was hoping that she made it taste different. That sweet potato pie tastes average. You can get that sweet potato pie in any African American, Black American home on Thanksgiving or Christmas Day, and it's the same thing. There was not a thing special about that pie. And niggas was losing their mind. And I'm talking about black folks. Niggas was making videos. Oh, Patty. It's a sweet potato pie. It was literally, and it wasn't nasty. I ain't hating on a pie. It wasn't nasty, but why would black folks? That's just like black folks going crazy over some chicken wings. Nigga, we cook chicken wings. I had some today. We cook that kind of stuff. That's like black folks going crazy over some greens. We make greens. Now, do all greens taste the same? No. My greens are fat in the motherfucker. I'm just saying, shout out to my mama. But I'm just saying, everybody makes greens. Do I eat everybody's greens? No, I don't.
No.
But for the most part, if somebody came out with some greens today, it should not revolutionize black folks. Now, maybe white people, Hispanic people, people who ain't used to Southern cooking, people over from Nigeria, people from India, yeah, it could blow their socks off. But us? Somebody come out with chitlins and we go crazy. Oh, them chitlins, goddamn, dude. Oh, man, them chitlins. What?
Man, they was shooting people over Popeye chicken sandwich.
Yes. And I had that Popeye chicken sandwich, and the sandwich was decent. It wasn't changing the game. It wasn't revolution. Oh, these niggas done did something different, man. I can't believe how they do that. I was like, it's a good chicken sandwich, but shit, it's all right. It ain't that, oh my God. It is what it is. Go ahead with your last thought.
My last thought is, at this point in time, black people are literally we're too influenced. We're too much on being followers. Like, we could say, okay, hey, this is what one race is doing, so hey, let me follow that race and do what they do, and let's try to get away with it.
Right.
But Brian, I'm gonna let you know, man. Yeah. Like I say, I always tune into your shows, man. I love your show.
Hey,
love
brother.
the chat. Everybody.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for jumping on, man, and giving me your thoughts. Hey, it was somebody actually here, but it looks like they left.
Oh, can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to know your opinion. Like, with all this social media, with everything going on, what is your opinion on, like, you know, like what's being shown to like everybody on the media?
It's like this. That's a great question. It's like this. Mainstream media is doing what mainstream media has always done. When you go back 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, mainstream media is doing what it's always done. And that's essentially pushing forth their narrative. So whoever is pulling the strings of mainstream media, whoever is the rich mogul or the person who got some pictures that they blackmailing the media mogul from, with, whatever the case may be, there has always been mainstream media doing that thing itself, trying to spin or just push forth its own narrative. That's it.
Because
Even when
like
you talk,
all,
and I can prove it with this. When you go back to when rap first started, hip hop first started, the first big controversial rap group was who? NWA and Public Enemy. It was these niggas is too militant and these niggas is too violent. That's what it was. And the media painted them as the worst of the worst. The narrative was, in the media's eyes, when you talked about the news conferences, when you talk about them being on TV, you had the protesters burning the CDs of NWA. You don't call women bitches. Well, these are the same motherfucking women and politicians that was watching Superfly and the Mac back in the 70s. Well, nothing but a bunch of bitches and hoes back then. So what's wrong with it now? We as the young people, we stayed true and kept supporting it. We stayed true and kept doing it. Then it caught on, and then the mass majority of society, of the young people, the white kids, the Asian kids, the Hispanic kids, they started to like it too. And it caught on. But it was always, especially in the late 80s, early 90s, it was always negative connotations with hip hop. My daddy didn't like it in the beginning. My mama didn't like it in the beginning. All the old people didn't like it. Just like rock and roll. Rock and roll back in the day was the devil's music. It's always been that way. And they paint it that way on purpose because they don't want anybody else having any type of influence. That is the mainstream media's job, is to conduct influence. That's it. We want you to think what we want you to think. Nobody else. And anybody else that does that or conflicts with that or interferes with that, we consider them the enemy. And that mainstream media has moved into like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You say something that they don't like, what do? They can simply now click a button.
And the thing is, it's like, my bad, I know I said the last thing, but the one thing is, it's like, they give people a chance to say, hey, you speak up, what do you want? And for some reason why, they always fuck it up. They always want some dumb shit that has nothing to do with what's going on.
Right. You're right.
And it's like, I just get tired. Like, I can't even watch sports no more where I just seeing Black Lives Matter or every fucking thing that's like, damn. Can't even get a break from it.
And even when you look at, and just like that thing too, it's like people with this sports thing, and I'm gonna talk about the players more so first. The players, I know that a lot of them are trying to, use their platforms to do what's right for our people and all that kind of stuff. But when you look at the Jim Browns and the Bill Russells back in the day, I'm gonna let you go too, so I can bring in Trucker Bree. When you look at those guys from back in the day, those guys actually did what they did because they were trying to get people to enforce the law. It was against the law to have a black only fountain. It was against the law to say black folks can't go into this establishment. And that's what they were fighting for. That's what they were trying to actually change. It wasn't just I feel like we being hunted every day we step out our house. How's that? And you live in fucking Calabasas. Ain't nobody
when you got a gated community.
Right. Ain't nobody hunting you in Calabasas. How is it Kenny Smith is so emotional he walks off the set? Why are you walking off, Kenny? Because the last time I checked, I ain't seen you in the hood. Last time I checked, I ain't seen none of y'all where George Floyd live. Don't none of you niggas go there. Don't none of all you niggas is watching that shit just like everybody else in America is. So don't make it seem like you identify with something that you actually don't. That's my thing. And not to say that you can't talk about it and say it's right and wrong, but don't try to shoulder up somebody else's pain and terrible situational living conditions like they're your own.
But hey, but somehow everybody knew him when he died. Everybody knew him.
Yes, they turned his funeral into a goddamn fashion show. Hey man, you coming to the funeral? Yeah, I'm flying in, man. Yeah, dog, I see you there, big dog. Niggas in where everything was shut down, no COVID. I can't go to church and praise my God, but we can all show up for George Floyd's funeral.
You can't go to Trump
as Nancy Pelosi says, George Kirby.
Kirby.
We can go to George Kirby's funeral now. None of us know him, but we gonna show up because it's the end thing to do.
But COVID don't exist for his funeral or the protest of burning shit down. But with Trump have a rally, hey, COVID, hey, like 5 people came down with it.
Y'all can't, y'all see what Trump did, man. He got niggas get. I couldn't believe all of the niggas that was talking about Trump. Herman Cain got COVID from the Trump rally. It's like, dude, if anybody was first of all gonna even say that, it would be his family. His family specifically said he didn't get that shit there. And what did niggas do? See what happened, Herman? See what happened? Now you dead, bro. I told you this shit was real. I said, now all these other motherfuckers that done died from the shit, you see ain't nobody said that shit about John Lewis. Ain't nobody said shit about him. Ain't nobody said, yeah, John Lewis was hanging out with some sissies. That's how he got it. Or John Lewis, he was down at the club. That's why y'all ain't said shit about that except for, damn, that's bad, man. That's terrible. But so Herman Cain, it's because he was fucking with Trump. Because he supported Trump. People were implying that because he supported Trump and was at a Trump rally, he got COVID. Man, if y'all don't get the fuck out of my face on the internet, I can't.
So none of y'all motherfuckers got caught COVID for being outside, kissing and hugging on people, for burning shit down. Nobody got COVID.
Right. Nobody wasn't no spread of COVID then. And you would have thought that politicians would have said, we are really going to strictly enforce this and say y'all can't protest because of COVID. So I can protest, but I can't go to church. I can protest, but I can't go to the barbershop. I can protest, but I can't go to a restaurant. I can protest, but I can't go to a baseball game. I can protest, but I can't go to a football game. I can protest, but I can't go to a basketball game. And ain't nobody upset at this? Ain't nobody questioning that? And meanwhile, you got your Nancy Pelosi's, you got your, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be out. All right. Well, you gonna be out. You got your Nancy Pelosi's and you got your mayor, what's the mayor Chicago? Your Lori Lightfoot's going to get their hair done though, while it's a lockdown. I'm the mayor. I'm Nancy Pelosi. Man, it's a bunch of BS, man.
That's why I call a bunch of bullshit on that.
Absolutely.
And Brian, like I said, man, keep doing your thing. I'm gonna keep watching the show, supporting you, man. Everybody, make sure y'all hit that like, share it on his stream, whatever y'all gotta do.
That's what's up. Thank you, brother. Later.
All right.
What up with it, Trucker Bree?
What's up with you, young man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Go ahead. What are your thoughts?
I want to start by saying I'm not anti-police or anything like that. And what I was saying in the chat, it was just like more like just like Supreme Court cases that I looked at. Do the police need more training? I think the police maybe need more training, and the people need more like education, because it's a two-way street. One of the Supreme Court, I'm not ready. I was not prepared when I got to talking crap in the chat. So I just want you to know that this is not, I'm not at the tip top. I'm not at my sharpest right now. But it's just certain things like that I've seen in Supreme Court cases through my research and looking up stuff. As far as like the police duties are to protect the corporations, and they don't have an obligation to protect the people at all. And that the police are not necessarily constitutional officers of the law, and what they enforce is codes and policies. But then again, at the same time, like a lot of this stuff is up to the people, because it's simple to look into a law dictionary and look up the word color, because these are legal and lawful words that we apply at the same time. That's why I say the people need more education. But you can look at the word color in law, and it says artificial assimilacum So um,
Well, I guess the
when
thing
these
is this.
people ask,
The thing is this though. It's like what the police do. They enforce the law
mhm,
that is established by the politicians that are supposedly to establish the laws and policies of the land based on what the people want. So there is it's not just them supporting and doing what the corporations are doing. No, they are enforcing the law. That's the job of a police officer to
mhm.
enforce the law, and whatever law is being broken, our only job is to bring you to court so that you can have your charges pressed against you, and then you have your day in court to defend against those charges. That's what the police officers essentially do. It's not for us to say, if I see you break a window, it's not my job to punish you for breaking that window. It's my job to take you to court so that
To
you can
beg
be held
you in,
responsible or
yeah,
accountable for that.
it's been a complaint, and you go check out and investigate the complaint, and I understand that. But at the same time, all right. So let me ask you a question: are you an officer, like a police officer, or are you a sheriff? What jurisdiction are you in?
I was when
Are
I was a police officer, I was a deputy sheriff for
all
2 years.
right.
I
So
was a
you
deputy sheriff
so
reserve for 2 years.
all right. So as the deputy sheriff, you took an oath to the organic constitution of the one that Benjamin Franklin and them signed, right?
Well, it was nope. As when I was sworn in as a deputy, it was the laws of the
Hmm.
land and the Constitution.
And the
So
Constitution.
yes, so it was both. It wasn't, oh, we only uphold what's in the Constitution. Nope, we took an oath to uphold the laws of the land and the Constitution.
I don't think that like regular officers um have that same constitutional obligation that the sheriffs will have.
Yes, they
So
do.
it's just
Nope,
the difference.
that's
Like,
not. Nope, that's not true. They do, but if you can even go and look up a swearing in, YouTube a swearing in ceremony, and you'll see when officers, because officers get sworn in the day they graduate. That's the technical thing when they get sworn in. When they hold their hand up as a sheriff, the sheriff is the one who deputizes you. Can't nobody else deputize you but the sheriff. So the sheriff says,
like,
hold your hand up.
hold on. Excuse me, I'm looking in the comment section on my TV or whatever, and somebody said that the police are not security. With the Supreme Court case, I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna share it to you, and I'm gonna send it to you on Facebook Messenger, Brian, so you don't think I'm just
Yep.
talking out the side of my neck or I'm crazy, because I actually read a lot. But what the Supreme Court case says that the police are actually like security. It broke them down. They are security of the corporations. Every city that you know, the city of is a corporation. I don't think that y'all have it in other states. I think it's only in 2 states. Ohio was one of them. When you are on the freeway and you driving, what you would see is corporate limits of. It don't say city limits. It says corporate limits of Warrensville Heights. Uh, Corporate limits of Cleveland, Ohio, which tells you that it's a corporation, but all states don't have that. But in essence, every city is a corporation.
So
The
how does that?
county is
Okay, so
not a
what's it? Well,
corporation.
okay, so let's say that is true, and I'll
Mhm.
concede that. What does that have to do? Because whether you're in a corporation or whether you are in a township or whatever, you incorporated or not incorporated, your law enforcement
Mhm.
is essentially ran by elected officials or the people. That's essentially what it is. The sheriff is usually an elected official. It's not a person. It's who the people put in place. So even if you are a corporation, like America is technically has been written as a corporation, there is still a CEO
Continent.
and there is still a board of directors that are supposed to be beholding to the people, like the Constitution. So whatever they, even with the all of the things that they do, which is why the Constitution is so important. The Constitution is the line that binds all of these things to say,
The-
well, you can talk what you talk and say what you say, but this is that thing that can't be broken. So
See, all right. So what people need to not what people need to know is that there's two constitutions. One of them is called the Act of 1871. If you go on Google Scholar, not just Google, go on Google Scholar, go on Justia, you can go on Yale Law, and you can type in the Act of 1871. This is where a lot of this corporate stuff came in at, and it got out of the organic constitution stuff. It's a whole lot of conflict of interest and stuff.
Okay, but what
And
does that have to do? Okay, but what does that have to do with what the police job is? Because that's still, regardless of what, even when you go into, there are certain communities and certain neighborhoods that have private,
it breaks down.
that have private
It breaks
police
down
departments.
simple. If the police are colorable, and if they fall up under the color of law, color of authority, and we are the people, human beings, and they come and they shoot us to enforce color of authority. Hey, just so you don't think I'm crazy, go on Justia and type in color of authority.
Okay, I'm
so
not
you can see
disputing.
it
I'm not
yourself.
disputing you on
I
that.
want,
I'm not disputing you on that. What I'm asking is, what with everything that's being said, there is still a governing body and people that are appointing these people to direct that department. That's all I'm saying. In Chicago, Chicago could have they can have corporations, they can have figurehead, whatever they got. However, the mayor is appointed by the people, not a corporation. The mayor and the police superintendent, they are appointed positions. The people vote those people in, and they give them the power to appoint these people. Same thing, just like in the government. You're talking about the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, the 7 Supreme Court justices, or the 9, I think it's 7 or 9, whatever.
Hey.
Those Supreme Court justices are there to make sure that the president doesn't violate the Constitution. That's what they there for. That's why they have certain rules in place.
Everybody is not under constitutional jurisdiction.
So what does that have? I'm saying, what I'm asking is, what does that have to do with the police and their job as far as being incorporated or not incorporated?
Well, if their job is to enforce codes and policies which apply to corporations and not human beings, and they coming out applying on codes and policies to human beings, and which is they're not law, they're laws within the corporation, but they're not laws of the land. And there's the actual difference.
Who created those laws, though? But wait, who created those laws?
So this is why I mentioned the Act of 1871. There's
who
two types of
those laws? You're leaving out the main point in what you're talking. In the point you're trying to make, you're leaving out a crucial point, which is whatever it is they have created, whatever it is they have started, it is all put in place by, as Bain would say, the people. So how is it that they're getting away with this stuff if the people are the ones that are putting these people in power?
The only thing that I can say is most people agree with it, not even knowing that they agree with it, and they create contracts. As far as with the point that I'm trying to make is, if you're enforcing codes and policies on human beings, is it a civil rights matter or is it a human rights matter? A civil rights violation or a human rights violation is what I'm trying to get at. Most of these police killings that you see happening or whatever are like human rights violations, but they put it in the jurisdiction of civil rights, therefore it don't have to go to international court.
Why would it? Wait.
Human rights fall up under international jurisdiction.
Why would it need to go to international court?
Because they doing the jobs of the sheriffs.
So what? They have been appointed by the people to do the job of the sheriff.
Look, this is what I'm gonna do. Like I told you at the beginning, I'm not 100% ready yet. I don't have all the answers right now. But what I will do is I'm going to donate to you. And if we get another time and another day to have this conversation, I would make sure that I cross my T's and dot my I's. They're not crossed or dotted. I just came for going out.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
all I want you to do, though, in you gathering your information, I want you to be able to
But what
tell
I
me.
would like,
Want you to be able to tell me
but what
to what end is this something that is being done that the people are not sanctioning? Tell me what's happening to where this person or this group of people or this private entity, whether it's the cabal, whether it's the Illuminati, whoever it is that's doing this thing,
it's
and they have this
jurisdiction,
power,
it's
and it's
jurisdiction
not being
issues.
done by the people.
It's jurisdiction issues, B. That's the main thing that I could argue. And the reason why I say that is that we have a republic. The democracy came about in 1933, March 9th, 1933, with House Joint Resolution 192. So that this government we got now is a different jurisdiction than the republic that Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Barclay, and all them signed. It's a different jurisdiction. That jurisdiction, which is the republic that we all pledge allegiance to, still exists. But there's barely any people operating in it, and there's lawyers and judges that know the difference.
Okay, but what
I'm
is
not
what?
tripping.
Okay, and what does that mean? Tell me what that means to where we have as people did not play a hand in that changing, because the Constitution, what we stand for, and the people, all that, anything can be changed. Tell me where we said no, we don't want to change that as the greater majority of the American people, and this particular
We
group of
didn't
people
say no. We
said, no, we
didn't know
gonna do
what
it.
was going on. And just like today when people out of
There
fear
you
give
go.
up their rights, they gave up their rights too.
We
Another
do it
thing
all the
that
time,
switched
though.
things over.
We do. We just did it.
Yeah.
We do
So
it all
what I'm
the
talking,
time.
so hold on. I'm not anti-police, and I'm confused, man. I see you arguing on the TV and stuff, and this late, and I'm like, is he still yelling at me? I'm not anti-police. And like I said at the beginning, the police need more training and people need to study law more also. I am not anti-police because if a nigga shoot me and I can't shoot him back and I need help, guess who I'm calling? 911.
Exactly. That's
So
it. And
I'm
it's like,
not
and even with what you,
I'm not
but what you,
anti-police.
here's what I'm saying, because the point you're arguing, it's a technicality, and a technicality when you're talking about saying, well, if I give you my debit card and my bank account information and my PIN number, I can't give you that and then come back and say, well, Brielle spent my money wrong. No, he didn't. Brielle spent the money the way he wanted to because I gave him the power to do it. Just like when 9/11 hit. We voted in Homeland Security. We voted in with Obama the Patriot Act. We voted in, I mean, not the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act came along with Bush. But that other act after that. We gave up our rights. Spy on us. Listen in on our conversations. Fly drones anywhere you want to. Do whatever you want to us. Just keep us safe. That's what we did.
But
we can't now go back
but
and
it's
say,
not
well,
under
what they did was
intelligence.
wrong.
It's not
What they
under
did was no. Hold
intelligence
on.
that we're
Wait.
giving up our,
Hold on.
and
Wait.
because we give up our
Let me finish
rights
my
doesn't
point.
make it
Let
okay.
me finish my
Like
point.
there's a case.
Let me
There's a
finish my
case with
point because
no.
we both can't talk at the same time. Let me finish my point.
Yes,
We
sir.
can't give up all of that stuff and then come back and say, well, what they did was not constitutional. What they did was wrong. What they did, they shouldn't have done. We can't go back and say that after we gave them the power to do it. They didn't do none of this shit, cloak and dagger. We just woke up one day and there was Homeland Security. No, it was on the news. It was in legislation. It was at Congress. It was bills passed. We voted for it. We put the people in place who did it. We let them do it. So we can't go back now and say, well, that was wrong. They should have did it that way. They couldn't do it that way. They should have did it that way. We can't do that.
Man, why is she doing this to me?
Did I lose you?
Hello, can you hear me, B?
I can hear you now. You went silent for a second.
All right, I can't see nothing. This is my thing for when people say Gotti 24 said in the chat, of course governments change over time. If the Constitution have not changed, then this government have not changed.
It does. It
Are you there?
evolves. It evolves. What applies, there are certain principles and laws that apply at certain times. There are certain things that are put even on law books. There's certain places where you can't spit on the ground. It's against the law. But because of how time has changed, because of how we have progressed as a people, it's a law, yes, but it's not enforced.
But all I'm saying is that there are two different jurisdictions, and there's more than one jurisdiction on the land. It just like it's two different jurisdictions. You
Okay,
have the
but which one?
Constitution.
Which
You
one
have
do
the first
everybody? Which
Constitution.
one is everybody going by though?
Everybody right now is going under the Act of 1871,
So
which is
that's
the
what it is.
problem.
That is the law of the land. Yes, there may
That's
be
not
two.
that's not the law of the land. The law of the land shall and always will remain in the original Constitution in the 1700s, 1780, 90, whenever they did it. That will always be the law of this land, and the treaties that supersede it. And that's just like stuff that you learn in like sixth grade. And then with the Supreme Court, the Constitution says that all power should be vested in one court. That's the Supreme Court, and all other courts up under that has to follow that. So this is where you can use the Supreme Court case laws inside the state court or municipal court, because municipal court gets its jurisdiction and power from the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court gets its power from the Constitution. Everybody just under a corporate constitution that don't know the difference. And I mean, when the government reaches tyranny, the Constitution says the people have the right to change it, to flip it.
So if they do, and if it is, then what is the argument? Do you
Man, my
realize that
argument,
what you're saying? Do you realize that what
my
you're saying and what
my
you're arguing?
argument is
Do you realize
literally,
that what you're saying and what you're arguing, even though you may be 1,000% correct, do you realize that the people are not going along with that? They want to go along with this. So how can you tell the greater majority of the people of that land that are going with a different plan, different constitution, different bylaws, different directives, whatever you want to call it? How can you tell them that that is the thing that they can't do when they're actually doing that thing? There is no point to argue. Not saying that you are wrong. What I'm saying is that what the greater
hey,
majority
America's a free
does is
country.
what is.
Brian, it's a free country, Brian. You have a choice to give up your rights or to keep your rights. It's not anything that I can do to make the next man enforce the Constitution or not enforce the Constitution. You can either live for your rights or know your rights. Those of us that know our rights, like myself, I beat the last couple weed tickets I done got. And for the
Okay, you
simple
talking
fact
about
that I
weed?
know,
That's what I'm saying. You talking about beating
no, just
weed
hear me.
tickets? You talking about beating
No,
weed
just
tickets?
and it
But
wasn't.
in
It wasn't that I
the
beat
whole
them.
spectrum
Hold
of
on, just hear
things.
me, hear me. It wasn't that I beat them. The police came out. They did their whole. Nah, I got the ticket, but from years of listening to you and Tommy, I'm not going to argue in court and be on that Moorish. I mean, on the street and be on that Moorish crap and blah 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 blah. When I went down to court, I talked to the prosecutor. I put him to the side. We had a little conversation or whatever, and they no longer kind of mess with me in that jurisdiction anymore. And I don't have the paperwork at this house, but I can clearly show you the
That's
paperwork
fine.
once I get it, and I will send it to you.
That's fine.
So
I
I
don't need
mean,
it. All I'm saying is I'm not disagreeing with what it is that you're saying. What I'm saying is that you can have this thing over here, and that thing over there can be just as pure and true and correct as what you're saying. But if you have a global thing over here, it's totally different. You can't say, yeah, this thing we have over here is that thing,
that,
when everybody else is saying, no, this is the thing that we want, and this is what we're
that,
going by.
All right, well,
That's just
look, well
what it
then that's
is.
all.
It's just
Well
like
then that's on them. Look, the road to destruction is wide and broad, but the road to heaven is narrow. Everybody, I'm not doing what everybody else doing. I've never been the person to do what everybody else do. So when everybody else give up their rights and go down that wide, broad road of destruction, I'm not doing that. So all I could do was give the message or whatever. It's different jurisdictions. The road of destruction is the one that these so-called black people are on. Everything that they do in the so-called black culture, as far as even in the church, if they was honest, all they did was make a bunch of pimps and prostitutes. I mean, pimps and perverts rich, maybe a couple prostitutes too. That's all the black church ever did is make pimps and
okay,
perverts
okay, well,
rich.
wait, but
All
just
they
like okay,
voting for Democrats, voting for
hang on, wait
Democrats
a
got
minute,
us poor
wait.
because we've been going the last 50 years.
You
They've been
just
working
wait,
for
hold on,
us.
stop. You just proved my point even further. So you say that the church ain't nothing but pimps, prostitutes, and perverts.
Getting rich.
And what? Getting rich.
Hey, they're
All right,
getting
fine.
rich.
Getting
That's
rich.
why.
Getting rich.
That's what they
Okay,
do.
stop.
We
Stop.
make pimps and
Stop. I'm
perverts rich.
agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. So there is no further point to make. All I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
is just like you believe that. And that is true. There has been proven factual evidence of there being pimps, prostitutes, perverts, and people getting rich in the church. Just like you say that's true and you can prove it. There are hundreds and thousands and hundreds and millions of people who are in church and use that as their moral compass. They use that same church that you're talking about to guide them on a daily basis. They do acts of good. They do acts of righteousness. They are faithful. They use that church idea and concept to be their moral compass and do good for people out in the world every day. So how can you just say that that one thing that you're saying is this is not that? You can't.
But
There
this
is
is
a such thing
when it
as
when it
you're
comes
talking
when it
about a small number against a greater majority. Because if it wasn't a greater majority, it wouldn't be as many churches in this country and in the world like there is. And more specifically, Christian churches.
man, all I can tell you is this, B.
So wait, is that
Whatever,
point that I just
whatever.
made, is that
Man, look,
no. You have to respond to that point. Is what I'm saying, is that true or is that false?
it's true, but when you look at the end cause of it, they use it to do the greater good. But when and
Choice.
that's their motive for the church.
That's it.
But
And
for the most part,
that's their
for the most
choice.
part, the leaders and the people that's running the government and been running government is corrupt.
It's their
Joe Biden
choice.
is corrupt. I don't see how Donald Trump became racist after 2016 or 15 when he started running for president. He wasn't racist to black people before then.
It's
All
a
the government
choice.
officials are corrupt.
It's a
What are we
choice.
doing as a people?
It's a choice. And that is the
Hey,
and just like how you talked about the original Constitution, the very essence of America, the very essence of the United States of
it's
America and
it's
the
a
Constitution,
free fucking country.
it's about freedom of choice. I get to choose if I want to be Buddhist. I get to choose if I want to be Christian. I get to choose if I want to be Hindu. I get to choose. And here's where we go wrong. Whether I'm the majority or the minority, I still get to choose. Because just like how you talked about the church, there are plenty of people that still choose to be faithful to that very thing. Just like when you talk about the law and how there are two constitutions, there are plenty of people who choose to go with the law of today versus the law of the 1700s. They choose
Yeah, man.
it. They
Yeah,
choose
man.
it. That's it.
And I get that. And just because it's a choice, look, let me put it like this, right? And I was just thinking about this like the last 15 seconds or so, how to ask you this, because I didn't want to ask you your shoe size. Pause. So look, let's say hypothetically you were a size 22 like Shaq do, and you just so happy to choose to go get a size 8. Just because you choose it, don't make it okay. And if you choose a size 8, like black people been choosing, don't complain about how bad your feet hurt and you can't walk in your shoes.
But
Just
I
because you
still
choose something don't mean that you making
no,
the healthiest choice for your people. People come from other nations and they
no,
choose to go to college
no.
and go back to help their nation,
Here's where
not
you
help their family. They go back to help their nation, which implies that they're going to have a family and do all that stuff,
here's the
but they're
thing,
going to help
Brielle.
their nation
You
too.
you're stop. Here's what you're doing. Here's what you just did. You just stated a fact and you stopped short of it to fit your narrative. What you just said, if I wear a size 22, my feet are 22 inches, and I choose to go buy a size 8, and that shoe does not fit. It is my fault. It is my responsibility. And the only person I can hold accountable to that is myself. But because it's America, I still get the right to choose to complain. You can't cut it off where you want to. That's the whole purpose of choice. I still get to choose to complain about the fucked up choice I made, even though it's my choice. Here's where we get it wrong at in America.
Don't fucking march and tear down shit.
It's when I try to tell you that you can't choose. It's when I try to tell you that you can't do what it is that you're choosing to do. When I try to impose my choice and my will on you, that's when you're wrong. Just like when you tell me that me going by the law of the land is the wrong thing to do because that ain't the original law of the land, that's jurisdiction. That's where you are going wrong. Because if you can go to court and get out of your weed cases, I should be able to say, well, I'm going to just pay the ticket and pay the fine and move on. Or I'm just not going to smoke the weed in the first damn place because it's illegal in my state. And I'm going to try to get my politicians to make it legal so I can smoke it, choke on it, roll in it, grow it, do whatever I want with it. That's the problem. Because just like in Chicago, before they made it legal, there were people still there smoking it. Weed is a plant. I should technically be able to grow it anytime and anywhere and as much as I want as long as it's on my land. However, the politicians that we have in place that we voted for and that we put there said otherwise. And we were okay with it because at one time we as the people were not okay with it. It was a choice that we made, just like with liquor. I can make alcohol with some fruit and put it in a bag and let it rotten and ferment for however many days it takes.
And
People decided that was wrong,
and I get
and they
that.
voted to
I,
change it.
I understand everything that you're saying, man. But when you look at the nations that's around us, like the Chinese, and they had that opium epidemic, and they ain't give their people no choice. If you smoke that stuff, are you looking like Brazil and stuff? Like if you sell drugs, they shoot you on the spot. They don't give you a choice to go to jail, take a plea, or anything like that. CJ gun, the wires in my house for my smoke alarm. I can't even put batteries in it. I would have been did that. It's the wires and somehow one of them is shorted. So you're gonna hear my smoke alarm. But I get that as far as the choice. But black people in the situation where we ain't got no choice. It's either do or die. We dying
Again,
right
that's why I
now.
have to stop you.
It's do
You
or
see how
die. We
you doing it?
dying right now.
Dude, do
I
you
want to
realize?
survive.
Look,
Should I separate
I
it?
hope.
Is it
Wait,
my choice to separate?
stop, because I can't let you keep going. I hope that once after this is over, you go watch it tomorrow, because you just did it again. You said black people don't have a choice. We do. We can complain about the choices we have made.
Yeah,
but
and
we
then I
still
turned
have
around and said I
a
said we
choice.
don't have a choice. It's either do or die, and we dying right now. The choice that we picking is dying right now, and that's
No,
just to
we
be 100%
not.
real
Look
with
at
you.
how we're not choosing to die right now. We're choosing to play the victim right now. We're choosing to say everything else that we have done to fuck up and perpetuate our own fucked upness. We're choosing that as our reason for everything else. That's what
Hey,
we're doing.
did you see that shooting in DC?
The one when he ran where the dude had the gun and
And
he
he
was
ran and he threw
and
it
the police ran past him and turned around and shot him because he had the gun in his hand.
and shot the shit out of his ass.
Hell yeah, I saw it.
That was 100% justified. I can't even argue
But
with
look,
that.
you
But
see what people did though?
if he wasn't making the bad choice,
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. But you see what people, and just like he fucked up and the kid made a bad choice. But do you see how people will still choose to believe a lie to the point to where they will make it up? Because everybody people sent me that video and I was like, wait a minute. It looked like a gun there. I said, see, niggas love to lie. Bam, he ran past him. Did he have to shoot him? No. Yes, motherfucker. He had a gun. And then his other
to be
boy
100
who
with
was
you,
out there
I'd have shot
had a
that nigga
gun
too.
too. Both of them niggas
I'd
had
have,
guns.
when I looked at that video on both aspects, to be 100 with you, I'd have left the gun in the car and I'd have just full fledged ran. You catch me later if you can on the gingerbread man.
Exactly.
If I was the police, I'd have shot your dumb ass too.
I would
I'm
have lit
not
him
running
up.
with the weapon on me from the police. And if I'm the police, I don't know what the hell going on. I would have shot you too. And I'm not trying to justify
No, you are
what
justifying it because that's what it is. You can't. The thing is this: people want to hold police to the law and to a standard, and they don't want to hold people to any laws or any standards.
and
You'll make an
I was
excuse
going
for
to
a
get
nigga
there. I was
anytime.
going to get there. You cut me off. I was going to get there. I said I'm not trying to justify the police 100% shooting him, but at the same time, man, like if you ain't doing nigga shit, the nigga shit just don't happen to you, man. If you're not in the car riding around smoking weed with your buddies, selling drugs up to no good, and I get it. I ride around in circles sometimes too, out of boredom, but I be by myself, my paperwork right. I got two forms of licenses. I got fucking insurance, my paperwork right. If I get pulled over, soon as the police pull me over, I take the key out the ignition, I put it on the hood of the car, and I got both I got my ID and my insurance ready. So it's a big difference in the mentality that I have riding around kicking it and stuff like that versus a lot of these young dudes riding around kicking it. They riding around, they looking for ops, where the hoes at. Me, I just be by myself, get a peace of mind. Get out the house. I might go to the little bar or something like that. But the bars that I go to, I don't go to the bars where the type of niggas that get pulled over and get shot by the cops because they carry guns and they looking for ops. I don't go to those type of spots like that. I go to the places where people got something to lose at. I'm on my way to get my own truck and getting a $300,000 career going on. I don't do nigga shit no more. So at
But
the end of the day,
that's the thing, and that's it right there, Brielle. See, you had to go through it to understand it in order to change it. The problem is
mhm.
everybody has a different walk in life. Everybody has to go through different things to learn the lesson. The problem is this. We gotta fix it. No, the problem is this. When you have people that are going through their journeys and they're trying to justify the poor choices that they make, that's where you have the division and the problems that's going on. Because those people that are marching for these people, trying to say that these people are martyrs and all that kind of stuff, there's a question to be asked, which is, why did he do what he did? And we don't want to ask that question. We want to absolve these persons. And my thing is this: a lot of times people will bring up the criminal past of certain people. They want to bring up George Floyd was a criminal. George Floyd was this. That's beside the point. The point was this: Why wouldn't George Floyd just go to jail? You had a fake 20. The police officer was just doing an investigation. He put you in cuffs, and then you went ape shit. Why? Because you was high. Why? Because you didn't want to go back to jail. Why? Because niggas don't like jail. I get
But
it.
you and I was gonna say,
Go
but
to
you ain't.
jail, and then
See, you ain't
won't
never
have to
been in
worry
jail
about
where you
jail.
had to live in that motherfucker, and it's a difference, man. Like, like, man, look, I've been to jail for shit that I ain't do. All right, whatever. I got a record. But that feeling of going to jail is not a feeling that you just supposed to just take on the chin. That feeling of going to jail make you go ape shit. Like, you should probably flip out. You're a free human being that's about to go into captivity. Yeah, you might have did some bullshit, but you know you about to go in them cages. You know what's in them cages. You know that when you go in the shower, your homie got to watch the shower to make sure that you all right. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't know what I'm saying. Or the fly that's around your foot. I'm sure you've seen them trays as a sheriff, and I know you done worked in the courts with something like that, man. You stank in jail. Your people, you can't get no commissary in jail. You be hungry because they feed you at 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 2 o'clock, and you ain't about to get nothing else to eat to 8 o'clock. That place will make you go crazy.
So yes, that and it will. It will. And to the person who's never been to jail, I understand why they would do something and then have to go to jail. But when you're talking about
you
the
understand
person
why
that
niggas
has
run from the
been to
police, you about to
jail,
go to jail.
you talk about the person that has been to jail, and then you talk about the person who's been to prison, because jail and prison are two different things.
Two different
When you're
things. I've
talking
never
about
been to
those
prison. I
people
only been to
that
jail.
have been to both, and they continue to do it, it's their choice to do so. I ain't mad at you, but you complain. I ain't mad at you. But when you look at what you did to be where you at, you have only yourself to blame. If I go, look, I could go right now and try to rob somebody. My thing is this. I ain't robbing nobody for no chump change. If y'all find out that I done robbed somebody, please believe it's for life-changing money. That's my moral compass. You want to get me to go on a heist? You want to get me to go rob somebody? You want to get me to go steal some shit? It gotta be life-changing money. Not today-changing money. Not situation-changing money. I'm talking life-changing. So, if or when I get caught, I can say I did it because if I would have got away with it, it would have changed my life, my kids' life forever. That's why I don't have a record.
Understand this. Understand this. You are a man that speaks with intelligent tone. A lot of these people that commit crimes are intelligent, or do they speak with intelligent tone? So what you got to think is like, man, let me put it like this. I went to jail. I did 2 months. I was down there with people that did robbery, and they was getting 6 to 8 years. So I knew on average you gonna get 6 to 8 years. Robbery is not a good idea. I thought robbery was a good idea before I did my 2 months in county jail, and I seen what type of they was getting. Their indictments look like this: gun charge, under disability because you a felony. Kidnapping charge because you held somebody against their will. Robbery charge, aggravated robbery because you did it with a weapon, and you lucky they get 8 to 10 years, 12 years for robbing people. I wasn't committing that crime, but then again, somebody under intelligence. Let's take Martha Stewart for example, right? The reason why Martha Stewart went to Camp Snoopy and instead of like a violent jail, number one is because she's rich, and Stewart, we know where that name go. But two, under the federal laws, if you steal $50 million, you go to where the violent criminals go. You go where they got the rightful admins and the paid in full guy and all that stuff.
Look. Do you realize that that's why hold on. What you're saying right now is true, and the thing is this: what we don't understand, it's designed that way. You not
but she knew that she could steal 400. She knew that she could still 49,999,999, and as long as she ain't go that penny that made it 50 million, that's what she was going. I wish I could steal for
You
49
could.
million.
You
No, 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 no,
can.
no,
You
no.
just gotta. You
I
know.
gotta-
No. You can do it. You just gotta know how. That's what you need to say. You can go see. Martha Stewart knew, number one, the risk is worth the reward. Number two, she knew because she wasn't a broke bitch, I got money to get a lawyer. And number three, if shit go way left, worst case scenario, and I get caught, I'm going to Fed jail, and I'm only gonna have to do a short stint because I'm not a habitual criminal. I'm not a seasoned. This ain't my ninth case. So she knew the risk versus the reward, and she shook the dice and took a chance. That's it. And I'm saying, even with drug dealers,
most dope
drug
boys
dealers
don't
even
know.
Drug dealers don't even understand the concept of risk and reward. If I'm
They
the
don't.
plug,
They don't know that if they get caught
they
with
do.
a gun,
No,
or turn
they
them
do.
out.
No,
They do know.
They do
But let
know, but they
let me
don't
say
give
this.
it. They do know,
Let me
but
say
they
this.
think because they the drug dealer, that they the man, they get so drunk off of the position that they don't fathom getting caught. That's why drug dealers don't have lawyers on retainer. That's why drug dealers don't have the infrastructure set up to where if I do get caught, I ain't never in the same place with the money and the dope. I ain't never the one that's transporting the 100 kilos. They never do it. That's why they get caught. And then when you do get caught, you don't even know, you ain't even smart enough to say, well, I know what I can go to jail for. I know what I done did before, and I know I done did that. So no, you a seasoned drug dealer, been doing it for 30 years, got 10 cases, so you know good and goddamn well the next time they catch you, you're going away forever. What do? We keep going, and we go to jail forever.
I was going to speak on the forever part, right? So the average dope boy, he might catch a case. He go to state jail a couple times, right? Bam. So whatever, he meets some guys in state jail, come home, they network, blah, blah, blah. They saying, it's the marshals at your door. This ain't the vice unit, the narcs no more. This the actual FBI at your door. Most dope boys that catch them little state cases don't know that when the FBI finally do hit you and you got that gun and that federal point chart. I seen that federal point chart because I was in jail and my cellie was the federal inmate that went on a run, caught a state case, and he was taking care of his state case first before he went back to the feds. And he showed me the drug chart. And the way how this drug chart reads is, let's say if I have an aggravated assault, which means that I just punched you really hard. I got a prior gun case, but if the feds catch me with 14 grams of marijuana, I could do 10 years because of them priors, and they make me a career criminal. And I never understood how did that happen or what it was. But when I looked at that point chart, the feds can't make deals like the state do. The feds, they got a point chart. Most dope boys don't know that chart.
The feds,
they ain't seeing
here's
that chart.
Thing.
When they see that chart, it's
I'm
too late.
going to say this and wrap it up. Here's the thing.
All right, cool.
The problem with drug dealers, the problem with dope boys, whether you on the corner, whether you the plug, the problem is this: they don't have a plan. Drug dealing, being the dope boy, being the corner boy, it's not a career. It's a job. It's like working at McDonald's. You work at McDonald's to either own one or you work at McDonald's while you're trying to go to school to get your degree. That's it. Drug dealers are caught up with instead of them taking that money and putting themselves in school, instead of taking that money and getting a private business or getting their own business and going legit and stopping. Nope. What they want to do, they want to keep selling because they like being the man. They like the girls. They like the 28-inch rims. And they like the Gucci belts. They like the Prada. They like the Chanel. They want to go and be like the rappers and everybody else doing this illegal thing. Get your money and have an out. have an
But
exit plan. If I become a drug, if I'm a
that
corner boy,
generation don't
wait a
exist
minute.
no
If
more.
I'm a corner boy and I'm selling dime bags, I'm starting at the bottom of the barrel. I should have a plan to be on track to save enough money to get this, to get that, to where eventually I'm out. If you ain't planning to get out in a short amount of time, you are destined for death or jail or probably both, just not in that order.
I got
Last
two
word,
short
man.
things I want to say, and then I'm gone. I'm about to go make love to my lady. She up there waiting on me and stuff.
TMI, man. Last
But
word.
I was gonna say number one, that generation of dope boys don't exist no more. That come from people. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. That generation was Don King and them that they hustled, but they went legit after a while, or you know what I'm saying? Or it might be a couple from the '80s, you know, around your age bracket, but around my age bracket or younger, they just want to live like hip hop and all of them Takashi 6ix9ine on each other and they hang
Mm-hmm.
around each other. Um, that's number one that I wanted to say. And number two, I ain't about to think of it. I forgot. I'm about to go. I'm about to send you 20 on the Cash app. I love you. I learned a lot from you. I miss daddies and daughters. My daughter
Yeah.
too now. I made sure that she could count to 20. She know all her colors, and she just turned 2 August 23rd. Thank you, young man. And I'm
That's
about to
what's
hit that
up.
Cash App. I'm gone.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. And just for Brielle, I got one more in here. I'm gonna let you get on real quick. But just for Brielle, man, I'm gonna tell you this, brother. Keep growing. You come a long way, man. And I'm telling you, man, just keep doing what you're doing, and keep getting better, and keep staying true to logic and what makes sense. That's all. Go ahead, Rob. What's happening?
Oh my God, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to be on the show. Hi, I'm actually a registered nurse and I'm at work right now, so my camera's off.
That's what's up.
Um, but I wanted to call, I'm so happy the baby's out of the NICU. I had a NICU
Thank you.
baby too, and it was really, really rough. So I was praying for you guys. I'm glad the baby's okay.
I appreciate it.
Um, I put this comment in the chat at the top of the hour at 12:30 because I was waiting for you. I was looking for you. You make this comment and I tried to tell my husband what you said. You said when you interact with the police, you are at risk of losing your freedom, your life, and I thought that there was a third thing, but I don't remember
Nope.
what you said.
It's only two things. And thank you for the super
Okay.
chat because you donated in the beginning of the show. Thank you for that.
Yes, I was looking
Yes,
for you.
I
Oh yeah, no
appreciate it.
problem.
Yeah,
And
it's
you're
just
welcome.
two things. I say anytime you're
Okay.
dealing with the police,
Yes.
or interaction with the police, you got two
Yes.
things on the line: your
hmm
freedom and your life.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Those are the two. Those are the two
And
things always on the line.
I think that it is just to tell you a little bit more about what I do, and I'm gonna get off. I don't want to hog up your time, but
Go ahead.
this is why when I see these videos, when you do these breakdowns, I'm like, I even if you don't know that much about the law, it is mind-boggling to me why anybody would ever interact with a person that has that type of power and or authority over you. You have the power to take away my freedom or my life. I have no idea why you wouldn't just do whatever that person said. It really is. I don't understand that. There must and we can debate about the person's mental state. I'm just like, it's real simple. You want to get home, do what this person says, and be on your way.
Yep.
That's it.
And
That's
you know
it.
what? I would be remiss if I didn't say this, but
Yes, sir.
what you the question that you are posing,
Mhm.
it's the thing that Tommy always says, and shout out to my
Mhm.
brother Tommy. He says it all the time. It's
Yeah, I like him too.
because our women, black women, are
Mhm.
in a position
Mhm.
to where they are not held accountable or responsible for their actions,
Okay.
and they're raising the young men that are getting
Yes.
into these interactions. They are
Yes.
raising them based on their own they're raising them on their guidelines.
Mhm.
But for young black men, we don't have the same power that they have. We're not on the same level that they're on. Black
Absolutely
men are
not.
looked at as
Absolutely
threats.
not.
Black
Right.
women are not looked at as a threat. They're looked
Correct.
at as loudmouth, troublemaking,
And
acting
obnoxious.
ignorant, doing whatever. So they're not
Correct.
a threat to people's lives. So when
Correct.
police officers encounter them, police officers not thinking, "Oh, this loudmouth black bitch gonna kill me." No, he's not thinking that.
Absolutely.
He's thinking
Right.
that about that young man. Know why? Because that young man is so wrapped up and caught up in his emotions because of how he was raised.
Yes.
He reacts emotionally. Oh, I ran because I didn't want to get caught.
Right.
You gonna get caught anyway. Oh, I ran
Either way,
because I
right.
had this gun and I didn't want the police to shoot me. But you had the gun.
Correct.
The thing would be not to run and to put your hands up. Oh,
Yeah.
I shot at the police because he was arresting my boy. How do you think
Crazy.
you're gonna win that situation?
Insane.
It's
Correct.
like
That's-
those are the things that because of how they're raised
Okay.
thinking a certain way that the society is holding them on a whole different standard. And because
I
of
agree.
that, that's why they're doing the things that they do. And then when they do it, it's their own peers and other black women that are saying that was wrong. He ain't had to do that. He could have shot him in the leg. He could have just shot the gun out his hand. Well,
No.
woman, this ain't TV. And how
That's
often do
true.
you see black women getting shot by the police? You don't.
Almost
Because
never.
When
Right.
they get called to the mat, when they get called to say, "Hey, put your hands up," the worst they will do is get a tase. That's the worst they'll get. Once you pull out that taser,
Right.
I might give up.
Right.
I'm done. You hit the
That's
hitter
true.
with that taser, that's it. But
That's
for
true.
our young boys, because we are programmed to prove ourselves. We're programmed to prove ourselves to our mothers. We're programmed to protect our mothers. We're programmed to prove ourselves to our peers in the hood, our name, who we are. We constantly trying to prove ourselves worthy of just being.
Okay.
That we put our lives on the line. So when it comes down to it, we already as young black men, they don't have an expectation of being old men. These young
Okay.
boys today, they not thinking or dreaming about being grandfathers, great grandfathers. They're not thinking. I'm gonna tell you like this. It wasn't until maybe I got into my 30s that I even started thinking about one day I'm gonna be a granddaddy. One day I'm
wow.
going to be a great granddaddy. To be 30, 35, to just now have that thought, that's what it is. So it's like when you're in that environment and you're raised that way, that's why they react the way that they do, because they think, oh, mama don't go to jail. She loud. She
Yes,
fight the police.
right.
She argue. She cuss them out, spit at them, kick them. She do all that. She will never go to jail. Why can't I
Right.
say I ain't going to jail today? Because you're a young black man. And I'm
Correct.
looking
And
at
they
as a
see you
threat
totally
because
different.
You are stronger, faster,
Yep.
and more powerful than that woman that you standing next to or that you
I
came
agree.
from.
I agree. But you taught me a lot. You taught me about, because I used to say that same silly comment. How come police officers don't shoot you in the arm or shoot him in the leg? And my husband will look at me like, you dumb. What police class are they taking where somebody's trying to hurt them and they're trying to shoot them in the leg? I was like, all right. So
Yeah.
I completely agree that we need to teach both sides how to interact with each other and try to move forward, because we can't stay here. We can't stay in this place where everybody's pissed off and fighting, or we'll
Right.
get nowhere, and people will continue to be hurt on both sides.
Oh man, that was awesome. Thank you so
But
much. That
I'll
was
let you go. I'm so glad I got on. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna get back to my job before they catch me.
keep saving
Bye,
them,
Brian.
keep saving them lives of the future. I
I'm
appreciate
trying.
you.
I'm trying. Good night.
All right, good night. Thank you. That was a perfect way to end the show. Great call. Thank you so much, Rob, for calling in. Please feel free to call in again. Awesome way to wrap it up. I just want to say this in closing, and I'm gonna read the donations. I just want to say this: we as people, we ultimately, and always remember this, y'all. Our country, our neighborhoods, our cities, our states, regardless of how good or bad they are, the current state of them, even in Chicago, the current state of things, always remember we have a choice. And because we have a choice, that empowers us all to be able to make change. The thing is, that change and that choice to make that change, it starts with who? The man in the mirror, aka you, aka right there, aka your ass, whatever you want to call it. We are the ones, and we are the catalyst for change. No, things ain't perfect. No, things aren't the way that we all would hope and dream for them to be. But there's always possibility for change and hope because we get to choose. And anything or anyone or any entity that tries to encroach on, infringe upon, stop, curtail, change, impede, that change is, without a shadow of a doubt, your enemy, and is a clear and present danger to not just your lives, but the lives of the generations that are coming after you. Which is why any politician that says anything about taking away our guns, Second Amendment right, any politician that is pro 2A instantly loses my support. Because that is, even though it's the extreme, it's the final straw, it's the last level of freedom of choice that we have. It is the true enforcement and enforcers of choice. Think about that. That one thing that keeps us free to choose is the very thing that most liberals, most Democrats want to change, take away, make harder to get, make harder to have, restrict, or remove altogether. Wonder why? Because if I can take away that one thing that is your leverage and your power to keep your choice, then now I have power over you and I choose for you no matter what. So yeah, we may give up this right to say you can spy on our phones. Yeah, we may say you can listen in on our Alexa devices or our Google devices. But if we keep giving up those things to try to be safe, thinking that our government is going to totally care for each and every one of us like its very own children, holding us close to its bosom as they have us wrapped up in the United States American flag. The minute you begin to think and to believe and to give away your rights and trust that the country or corporation or entity or whatever you want to call it has a better interest than you for your own self, that's when you're born to lose. That's when you're destined to lose. Never give up your power and your rights and those things that keep your rights and your power in your hands. Never give it up. That's it and that's all. We that support Pro 2A, we that support our guns and want our guns, I don't care if I want to have a 22 or if I want to have a rocket launcher, I should be able to have it. Why? Because I'm responsible for it. I'm responsible for every rocket that comes out of that rocket launcher. I'm responsible for every 22 bullet, every pellet, every BB. I'm responsible for it. And when I shoot the wrong thing, I should be held accountable and responsible for it. But I should also be able to use it to protect myself. When I got people walking up and down my block at 2 a.m. in the morning telling me that I'm living in a house that used to be owned by a black person, I should be able to walk out on my front porch with my AR-15 and say, you know what, y'all people, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Unlike y'all asses, I got to go to work in the morning. Fuck y'all and good night. when they do try to walk up to me, when they do try to throw their piss bottles or their bottles of bleach, or they bring their microphone as soon as they step on my property, they need to be looking down the barrel of my gun. As I say, get off my land. That's what this is about. It's about us being able to have our own, protect our own, and choose for ourselves. I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab. And I'm telling y'all like this. We have to hold ourselves accountable, and we have to hold those that we entrust with authority accountable too. We do. I'm all for that. If I need a new mic, buy me one. Nolan BX. Hit the donate button, because first of all, when I listened in, I sounded good. Everybody else in the chat said I sounded good. Only people that came in is you and Jay Rich that says my mic is low or I need a new mic. I don't. I'm good. So if you want me to have a new mic, Nolan BX, I'd expect a donation for said mic. All right? So you look online and you find a better mic than this one, and then we'll talk. Yeah. This is an ND27. Go ahead. Electro Voice. Look it up and you tell me, and I hope to see your donation. Thank you. Thank you, CJ Gunn. I hope to see your donation soon for the Brian Need a New Mic Fund. Appreciate you. Hey, let me go ahead and give a shout out to everybody that donated for the show. Shout out to Quintina Mays, always faithful with the donations. Hit your boy with $5. Said great show. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. My man Brielle Bay hit your boy off with $20. Brielle, tell you, man, it's a hard conversation, brother. But hey, I gotta stay true to what it is that I do and be willing to have it. So hey, man, we got through it and we actually made some progress. Proud of you, man. He hit my man Leighton hit your boy off with 2077. He said, for the guru, always brings the heat. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. That's what's up. Always supporting, man. And let's see. Illa Dre hit your boy off with $4 as well. Thank you, man. I appreciate that donation. And April Jones, last show, she hit me up with a donation too. Hit your boy with $5. That's what's up. Appreciate you. And let's see. Oh, and also Derek J, my man Night Train, hit your boy off with $25. I don't think I got to read them the last show. I think they donated afterwards. So still want to try to give everybody they shouts out. That's what's up. Let's see. Hey, it's all good, Evil Piggy. I know that my sound and shit is off. I gotta fix it, but it is what it is. I'll take care of it. No worries, man. I was just talking shit. It's all good. I don't expect nobody to go and buy me a new mic because my sound is low when I know I just need to tweak my settings. So they weren't there in the beginning of the show to where they saw that all my shit get reset and I had to change it. Also want to give a shout out to my man John Mayoral. He hit your boy off with $5. That's what's up. Let's see if he had a note. Nope, he didn't. And also, who was this one? William Robinson. He said we totally see it the same. That young did what he had to do. Oh, that was from the Kyle Rittenhouse. He did what he had to do in the moment. Absolutely, totally. And let me make sure I got this one in too. Jim Edwards hit your boy off with $5. He said self-defense is a right. They need to cut out all the welfare. Need to cut it all. Welfare existing and current. Oh, that's when I was talking about the welfare stuff. Child support too. If there ain't no net, bitches won't jump off the cliff. I heard that. All right, and I think my last one is Julius Wilborn hit you off with $5. Said there's a video of him running from the first guy shot in the head. At least 2 of the victims had criminal records. Yeah, y'all remember that. But everybody else, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. More than likely, I will probably do a show, if not tomorrow. Nope, it's probably gonna have to be tomorrow because I gotta cook on Sunday. I'm gonna fire up this young grill and do some of these sides, make some of these grains that I was talking about. But with that being said, I want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate everybody with the well wishes. Everybody that is watching this. Actually, I'm gonna do that video tomorrow to thank everybody for the baby shower stuff that was sent. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys don't know what it means to me to when I see you guys come here every time I go live, and even like today to go through my technical difficulties. I appreciate you guys. I love doing this thing, and more importantly, I love doing this thing with y'all. It really means a lot to me. So shout out to everybody in Soto Nation. Shout out to everybody that clicked the like button, click the subscribe button. We are on our way. We are at 5,800, almost 5,900 subs. Let's keep going. We only got about 4 months till we get to 3 months. It's September. We got 3 months to get to 10,000 subs. Let's do this damn thing. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. And last but not least, shout out to my brother from another mother, Tommy Sotomayor, and everybody in Soto Nation. Peace. I love y'all. And until next time, I'm out. Yeah, buddy. Oh, wait. Peace, y'all. I'm out. And shout out to Super Chat, Rob, Bond. Hit your boy out with the $10. Got to shout you out. Appreciate it.